Purchased a condo, seller rented it to his nephew at $1 for 36 months, the day before contracts were signed. Now what? Mostly what's in the title. Condo was vacant for roughly 60 days between closing and our attempt to move in. Upon getting there with our belongings, we discovered a new deadbolt on the door. The unit was vacant and had no deadbolt when we did our final walkthrough the day before closing. Tried knocking on the door, got no answer, reached out to our realtor, who contacted the seller's agent and asked that he get in touch with his client to find out what the hell is going on, but at this point we assumed squatters. About an hour later, a young man showed up and produced a 36-month lease which had been paid in advance, all $1 of it. He told us it's between us and his uncle, and headed into the apartment. Our realtor is flabbergasted. He's encountered squatters and tenants who had to be evicted after refusing to leave at the end of the lease, but never anything like this. The police won't touch this either, which makes perfect sense given the context. Dude has a lease that predates our contract, albeit by 1 day, so as far as they're concerned it's a civil matter. The condo association is incredibly hands-off about owners leasing their properties, which is part of why this place was appealing, as I plan to rent it out myself when we are ready to buy a house, so they want nothing to do with the situation. To me it seems like the lease should be completely void given that it was executed in ridiculously bad faith, but I am nowhere near a lawyer. To that end, the attorney who handled the transaction for us is out of town till next week. My understanding is that he's camping or hiking or hunting or something along those lines and is basically incommunicado for the time being, but I am waiting to hear back from his admin to get details. He's a one-man firm so there are no associates that can help me in the interim. I have no idea what to do here. Luckily the truck we were using to move is owned by a friend's business, and they have graciously offered to let us store our belongings in it while we get this sorted. Unluckily, my wife and I turned in the keys to our old apartment this morning, and as such we have nowhere to go. I'd be willing to do a cash for keys thing to get this guy out of our apartment, but he won't speak to us. Beyond that, do I have grounds to evict him? If so, how do I recoup the expenses associated with this whole clusterfuck? Sue the seller. Does the tenant have any sort of liability here? If I do pull off a successful cash for keys arrangement, can I sue the seller for that as well? What about the friend who is letting us keep all of our stuff in one of his trucks? Does he have any grounds to sue, or does the fact he is voluntarily letting us use the truck take that out of the equation? Is there anything else that I am not thinking of? I am shaking with anger right now, so I apologize for this being a bit of a rambling novel, and thanks in advance for any advice you can offer.